There is zero clickbait going on. The bike market has hit an all-time low. Bikes are going for near nothing. In fact, I built up this top of the line, Specialized S-Works Carbon Evo Stump Jumper for 70% off, and you can too. Let's talk about it. Hey everyone, Josh here again with Daily Mountain Bike Rider, and I had the opportunity to build up this nearly top of the line bike for over 70% off with better parts than you can get on a stock one that equivalently would cost $11,500. You see, I have a friend of mine who has been needing a new bike for about a year now. I've been keeping my eye out for the right time to buy, and I told him it's now. I found this frame and built up this amazing bike. And when I go through all the specs, you'll see why that's pretty incredible. First up is this absolutely beautiful S-Works carbon frame. S-Works just means it's more expensive and it's probably not worth it, but it looks cool. These frames go for $3,000 just for the frames. Wait, I think it's more than that now. Anyway, I found some guy who posted it on Pink Bike, a brand new frame, unused. He won it and he had it listed for $2,000. I offered him $1,500, came with the rear shock, which is a Fox Float X in the factory. And he was like, sure. Sounds great. This is an S2. My friend Mike, who I built this up for, he actually made a video showing his first ride and reveal of this bike. So go check it out up there. I think so. He is 5'6" or 5", and so this was the perfect size. And all I needed to do was source all the parts. Now, after a frame, the next most expensive item you're going to buy is probably a fork or a wheel set. And I was able to find this Fox Factory 36, hardly used, for $500 on Pink Bike. Now, I did have to pay $50 to ship it, and it has this beautiful gold stickers that totally match the build of the bike. And again, highest end suspension that you can buy, new takeoffs or used for $500 or $600. The next is the wheel set, and this is where the real steal of a deal came from. I saw someone listing an FSA gradient hoops connected to an i9 Hydra hub wheel set. And I thought to myself, there's no way they're listing this for $500. And I thought it had to be a scam. It was someone local. So I met up, I checked them out, 100% legit. Somebody who bought a complete bike, these came on, somebody built up these wheels custom. And so you get Hydra i9 hubs with carbon hoops, and they only cost $500 for the complete wheel set. When have you ever heard deals like this? And yet I keep seeing stuff like this over and over again. And some of you who have listed your wheel sets or your forks or your bikes for way too much money are like, why aren't people buying these? Because the market is just awful and there's so many deals to be had. But there's even more deals on this bike. It just dawned on me how much a lot of this is gonna be easier to show in the bike stand. I think it's safe to say it's hard to beat that sound. Now, the one area of the bike I did cheap out on a little bit, but it's really not that cheap, is the drivetrain. You'll notice GX derailleur, cassette, 165mm GX cranks, and then an EXO shifter. I have done and used so many drivetrains, and I feel like they're all pretty much the same. Yes, the new transmission, it's not a drivetrain from SRAM, is much better built, no doubt about it, but overall it shifts gears, gets you up the hill. As long as it's not too loud, it works fine. I sourced the whole GX drivetrain with the shifter for $270 from a bike shop that was going out of business, unfortunately. Crank and bottom bracket, about $150. That's kind of the going rate, but overall, not a bad price for a whole drivetrain. Now, some things on a build you're not gonna find for that much cheaper than you would retail, but you might be surprised what you can find if you look on eBay or locally on Facebook Marketplace. These brakes are XT quad pistons. I think they're the best brakes out there. These are about $300 on eBay. You can find those a dime a dozen. Saddle is a normal saddle, about 20 bucks. Dropper post, found new takeoff, and that was $100 with a lever, I think like 30 bucks. Tires, Maxxis Minion DHR2 with the Max Terra 3C, have the white logos. How'd I source those? $33 on eBay. And that's right, these are 29ers, 2.4. Up front, you can either find a DHF or an Assegai like this one I found for $40. It's the EXO Plus casing. Again, you get the white Maxxis logos, people offload them. Maxxis made too many during COVID and bike shops and retailers had to buy them, and so they're offloading them for so cheap. So new tires, 70 bucks, dropper post with a lever and a seat, about 150. It's really not that bad to find exactly the tech you want. And I would say a one-up dropper, Maxxis tires, XT brakes, if it's what you like and you can find a good deal, it's worth putting the money in on. You'll notice up here we got the Trail 1 stem. How can you not support Brian BKXC? And then 1UP carbon handlebars. This is the lower rise. I think it's like 20 mil, but we found these bars local for like $40 or 50 bucks. The stem was $40. And Mike's got these weird old man ergon. Who uses these with the little pads on them? A bunch of weirdos. Overall, not that much for a cockpit that is high-end carbon connected to a high-end carbon bike with high-end carbon wheels. Holy cow, what did this all add up to be? Really not that much when you start thinking about it. Only other things I didn't mention as I'm looking at the whole list, rotors were 10 bucks each. You can find those new, they're the center lines because they're not the newest thing. Pedals, Mike had, so that's taken care of. Overall, $3,600 to build this complete, almost brand new S-Works top of the line Stump Jumper Evo. And new, like I said, would be $11,500 plus tax, plus getting it put together. And you don't even have the highest end components like i9 hubs, like the exact compound of rubber that you like. And so this way you're finding exactly where you want to spend money, where you don't, and you're saving 70% off retail. And I think the wildest part is that after Mike rides this bike for 3 or 4 years, he's a guy who rides a bike that long, it's still gonna be worth a pretty penny because everything is top of the line. It's gonna last and wear really well. And so overall, I don't think you can go wrong. But I should warn, everybody lives in different places. Your ability to find bike parts or find deals are different than mine. I've been in this trade for a long time and know where to look. And so good luck, but start looking, maybe start selling what you have and try to get some money and put it into something else. And you might be pretty amazed at what you're able to put together. All right, that about wraps it up, but I thought it would be really cool to show you a real life situation of what you can build and find in the mountain bike industry. And I think the cycling industry is going to continue to struggle. If the used bike market and bikes like this continually go down cheaper and cheaper in price, you're just not gonna be able to compete with all these $10,000, $8,000 brand new builds. But you do your own thing, figure it out on your own, and if you really want that latest, newest thing, maybe it's worth it in your pocket. I think saving a few bucks, getting something nearly identical is well worth the price difference. All right, you know what time it is. Don't spend too much time watching a guy talk about mountain bike builds in his garage, but get out there, ride your bike, and make sure you do it every day.